few lines were from my mom, her handwriting shaky. She started by apologizing for everything that had happened over the past year. This wasn't like the texts or emails she'd sent before, full of guilt trips and subtle jabs. Instead, she acknowledged the manipulation, saying she hadn't realized how her actions had affected me over the years. She wrote that, looking back, she could see the patterns now and understood why I'd felt the need to walk away. She even admitted she'd pressured me to take on roles in the family that weren't mine to bear, always expecting me to fix things. It was as close to an honest apology as I'd ever seen from her. My dad's part followed, and it was shorter and more reserved, but it surprised me. He admitted that he'd ignored a lot of the issues because he thought it was easier to keep the peace by turning a blind eye. He wrote that he missed having me in his life, and he was even willing to attend therapy if it meant we could rebuild some sort of relationship. It was shocking to read. My dad had never been one to even mention therapy, let alone suggest going himself. Then there were notes from my brother and sister, tucked in at the end. My brother wrote that he was sorry if he'd added to the pressure, admitting that he'd always taken it for granted that I'd help, assuming I could handle it. My sister's note was short, more of a general apology for her behavior during the Thanksgiving debacle and the smear campaign that followed. I could tell she wasn't as invested, but even her message felt a little more genuine than anything I'd received from her before. Toward the end, they proposed a meeting as a family, with the added condition that we could all attend therapy together to work through the issues. They left it up to me, saying they'd respect whatever decision I made. For the first time, I felt they might actually mean it. I took a few days to think it over, then sat down to draft my reply. I kept it honest and to the point, telling them how much their actions had affected me and why I'd made the choices I had. I agreed to a meeting, but only on my terms. It would be in a neutral setting, mediated by a therapist. I made it clear that if we were going to move forward, my boundaries had to be respected with no excuses or dismissals of my feelings. I wouldn't settle for a repeat of past behavior. To my surprise, they agreed. They said they respected my need for structure and would follow my conditions, which was more than I'd ever expected.